Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
Okay, I think this is a relatively late portal announcement for the Red Raider football team, but Joseph Adedire has put his name in the portal. So I'm assuming this is because of all that added.
I was looking at a depth chart yesterday that had Joseph Adedire as listed fourth at his position.
Yeah. So apparently he is moving on. He'll have 2 years remaining of eligibility. He was all Big 12 honorable mention as a freshman, and so now he's gone. But this is purely about probably playing time, and the people that you put ahead of him, and in terms of the guys that you just signed and things like that. And so there you go. So probably not a big surprise, would you say?
I guess it's a bit sad to say that it's not a surprise. But
yeah.
I guess, you've brought in guys to play in front of him. Mm-hmm. There's writing on the wall of, hey, my playing time's going to be cut dramatically. Mm-hmm. And one of the guys, obviously, that you brought in late was David Bailey, who's one of the best in college football. And then there's the other part of that's got to be a real challenge for these coaches is the writings on the wall of they don't think that highly of me.
Yeah.
That's probably a little bit of an ego shot. Sure. Yeah. When you
see that and you just kind of go.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at a Texas Tech roster, and I'm not going to say I don't see his name, but I don't see his name listed right now. So I have it sorted by position. I'm going to sort it by his name. But at any rate, so he's out, and who again, like you said, it's purely a function of you brought guys in because you didn't think you were good enough. And so that says to people that are here, they don't think I'm good enough. I got to go find a different place to play.
Yeah, the writing's on the wall, right? You almost have to have your head in the sand not to see it and understand it.
And it's too bad because, like you said, he is still on the roster. Okay, so they still have him listed on the roster as of this morning as an outside linebacker. At any rate,
because he looked like a guy that was, had talent, and he had some injury problems along the way. But I think all Red Raider fans really thought highly of him and felt like he's got a chance as he continues to get older here that he's going to make a big impact.
Sure, especially as well as he played as a freshman. With being honorable mention all Big 12. Grant McCaslin announced the signing of Josiah Mosley. He'll be a sophomore. He played last year at Villanova. He's from Round Rock. He was the 2023-2024 Texas Gatorade Player of the Year, averaged 22.8 points a game and 8.9 rebounds as a senior at Stony Point High School. He's 6'6". He played in 30 games for Villanova and then entered the transfer portal. He averaged 2.3 rebounds and 1.9 points per ball game in his freshman year there at Villanova. So he becomes the fourth player to sign with Texas Tech officially in the offseason. So that's good. You're filling out your roster.
It's good.
Yeah, well, there have been times when we've wondered. There have been times when we've sat here in July. Even early August, going, what's your roster going to look like for basketball? Because it's still not filled out.
Yeah, not feeling that way now because especially this season, guys are making sure they get their payday before this new bill comes into play.
I don't know what I'd be curious because I think that these numbers get thrown around so easily that it's kind of a telephone game thing that by the time the true number and the number that everybody's throwing around may be exaggerated, but isn't it kind of the number around 14 million for your basketball roster? Is that kind of a number that you've heard?
I've heard that, yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So yesterday, I just, in my news feed and in one social media thing, and I saw this and went, wow, this is certainly different. CBS Sports, and this will change the expectation of your basketball program. According to CBS Sports, Kansas will spend approximately $8 million to build the basketball roster for the 2025-2026 season.
Oh, man, were they got on a budget there?
I guess so. I guess so.
Adidas run out of money?
I don't know.
Maybe it's Kansas is spending 8, Adidas is spending 80. Maybe that's where it goes.
I don't know, but I just thought that was I just thought, what that's it seems like, you get desensitized to numbers. It just seemed like a shockingly low number, right? When you compare to what the number that you heard about paying JT Toppin $4 million. So basically half of their budget for us is going to one player.
Mm-hmm. Or maybe it's just the Kansas arrogance coming out, and it's we don't need to be paying more than $8 million for these people. We only paid $7 last year.
I actually did think somewhat along those.
But do you have any Grey Poupon?
Again, Kansas arrogancy. That's where it goes.
I did actually think that they probably think that they can only spend $8 million and be just fine. I did have that thought go through my mind. Absolutely. So I don't know. Just thought that's an interesting comparison when you kind of think about it. Tides changing and turning and stuff like that. But the 14 million may be exaggerated. The 8.8 may not be right. But still, let's just say you're only spending 10 and they're spending 9. You're still spending more than them. Mm-hmm. And the number that you hear about Toppin is $4 million, and that it changed because of the NBA draft prospect for him and the bonus money and all that kind of stuff. And he came back and said, in order for me to be here and pull my name out of the hat for the NBA, it's going to take $4 million, and Texas Tech people ponied up, made it happen. And we'll see what happens with Darion Williams. I have no idea, but it seems like the longer it goes and the more that you fill your roster, the less likely. But maybe if he came to them and said, I'll take this, and you still have that left, he very well could be on your roster. But it seems like as the days get longer and between the time that he announced and where you are today, it seems to be less likely. Wouldn't you think?
I would agree. Less likely the longer we go.
The longer we go.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
In sports history, today is April the 24th, 2025. Just 4 months ago was Christmas Eve. A lot of anticipation in the air and all that kind of stuff, excitement, things like that. Here's Jeff McGuire with this day in sports history.
I think I found Jamie's least favorite game in 1957.
Wow.
Chicago Cubs pitcher walks an NL record 9 Reds in the 5th inning.
He doesn't give up a run. No, I'm just kidding. That would be impossible.
That would be physically impossible. Mm-hmm. You're out of bases at that point. Mm-hmm. 1974, NFL grants franchise to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Okay.
2004, NFL draft. Ole Miss quarterback Eli Manning first pick by the San Diego Chargers.
Didn't last.
No, but that's where he was picked.
Yeah.
2016, the number 9 Texas Tech men's tennis team made history and clinched a share of the program's first Big 12 regular season title with a 4-2 victory over number 4 TCU on Senior Day at the McLeod Tennis Center.
Nice.
And in 2021, junior Braxton Fulford ripped a 3-run double down the left field line with 2 outs in the 8th inning to lift number 5 Texas Tech baseball to a 4-1 win over Baylor at a sold-out Danlaw Field and Rip Griffin Park.
That's why he's a big leaguer.
It is National Pigs in a Blanket Day.
Okay. How do you feel about the pigs in a blanket?
I'm a huge fan.
Okay. I'm good with that. Little mustard with it or no?
Oh, goodness, no.
Okay. Goodness.
No, the little mustard with nothing in the history of ever for me.
Happy birthday to Kelly Clarkson, who's 43. Barbara Streisand is 83. Cedric the Entertainer, 61. Chipper Jones, 53. Carlos Beltran, 48. And Omar Vizcal is 58.
He could pick it.
All three of those guys. And on this day,
when he says it like this, it's not going to be good.
1980. Ill-fated military operation to rescue the 52 American hostages held in Tehran ends with 8 U.S. servicemen dead and no hostages rescued. The Iranian hostage crisis stretching into its 6th month and all diplomatic appeals to the Iranian government ending in failure, President Jimmy Carter ordered the military mission as a last-ditch attempt to save the hostages. During the operation, 3 of the 8 helicopters failed, crippling the critical airborne plans. The mission was then canceled at the staging area in Iran, but during the withdrawal, one of the retreating helicopters collided with one of 6 C-130 transport planes, killing 8 service members and injuring 5. The next day, a somber Jimmy Carter gave a press conference in which he took full responsibility for the tragedy. The hostages were not released for another 270 days.
Yeah, really, that was the end of the Carter presidency right there. Any hope that he had to be reelected was not going to happen.
If you do a somewhat deep dive onto how the mission was planned and everything that went into it, there are a bunch of generals in the U.S. military that should have gone out with him.
I'm sure.
But this day in sports history.
And there was a big sandstorm that led to all that, too, that was a big problem for those.
The mission should have never taken off.
Yeah.
Like, it kind of goes with what happened with Challenger. There were like 8 things that were no-go that they still went.
Mm-hmm.
This mission, very similar. There were so many things that it started off bad with that they should have scrubbed the mission, and those servicemen would have survived. And you could have tried again.
Correct me if I'm wrong here, because I know that he did rescue people from his own company, but didn't Ross Perot also help offer to be involved in part of that Iranian hostage crisis?
Not in the military action, but I think he had something to do with it for negotiations earlier on.
Yeah, he was involved to a certain degree, and then he would eventually stage his own rescue mission to rescue a couple of his employees. And then they wouldn't release him until Reagan was elected and the change of power was taking place in the Rose Garden. And the President Ronald Reagan, announced that the hostages have been released. And that was, a huge middle finger right there in the face of Jimmy Carter by the Ayatollah. No question. 6:50 this morning here on the Morning Drive.
Back to Braxton Fulford. Did you guys hear the drama about his first big league hit?
Okay, I did hear about this, but it's escaped me now. So share.
So he homered for his first major league hit on Easter Sunday, and the fans, looked like a husband and wife, a couple, whatever, wanted $1 million for it.
Oh my God, no!
And the Rockies said, "No, we're not giving you $1 million for that ball," and so they basically said no. And then the two sides got back together and they arranged a meet and greet and autographs and all that kind of stuff. And Braxton took care of him. And he got the ball.
Oh, that's good.
But the Rockies basically just laughed in their face and said, "You're not getting $1 million.
$1 million.
It's not some historic ball. It's historic to Braxton."
Sure, absolutely. Yes.
Yes, but...
Goodness gracious.
That's just...
the gall of some people.
And you almost hate to, like, the fact that they got the meet and greet with Braxton.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
You almost hate that they ended up getting something in return.
So I'm
sure if they'd asked for, I don't know, like...
tickets to some ball games.
Yeah, you know, tickets to 10 or 12 games, the Rockies would have hooked them up, or... I don't know, or autographed jersey or something.
Yeah.
I'm sure they would have taken care of him. Yeah. But to ask for $1 million.
$1 million.
I mean, no offense, but
Maud, we're going to get $1 million for this ball.
Again, this is in the history of Major League Baseball. People in Lubbock, Texas, and the Fulford family are really the only ones that are even noticing this moment, right?
Yeah.
It's not like it just set the home run record or it won a World Series, and you're asking for $1 million. Man, get off social media, man.
Yeah.
This isn't Barry Bonds' record-breaking homer.
Several people on the chat line saying it was $1,000 and not $1 million.
Oh, I the article I just read said $1 million. Maybe they asked for 1,000. 1,000 seems even high. Yeah,
I would be shocked if they wouldn't do $1,000 for the Rockies. I mean, that's not even hot dog money.
Yeah, I'll go back and look at the article, but the one I saw said $1 million, so maybe it was mistaken. Yeah.
At any rate, I mean,
even 1,000 that seems ludicrous to me. Yeah.
Yeah, just be gracious and
well, but get something, right? Yeah.
I mean, like a bat or
meet
something.
him and get and I think that's what they ended up getting. Yeah.
Trade it for an autograph ball and a meet and greet.
Yeah,
Walk
something.
away.
Yeah. Photo shoot and whatever.
Yeah.
Thanks for my ball back.
Right.
Nice catch.
I'd heard that.
Congratulations, kid! You just got your first major league hit.
Yeah, I'd heard that he had homered in his first major league to get his first major league hit. I had not heard the story about the person asking for cashlene for it. Goodness. This from the Yates Flooring Center chat line with regard to the Kansas reference versus Tech in terms of the money for the basketball roster. Kansas has a lot fewer oil billionaires than Tech has. I'm not sure they have any oil billionaires up there. I mean, they might have some people that are contributing, but not to that number. Tech hit the portal because we haven't recruited that good in order to win. Anymore, it's about how much you want and how much you're going to pay. It's not sitting over the coffee table and telling grandma how good the rhubarb pie is. I mean, those days are gone.
But there's truth in the fact that you wouldn't be going after these guys if you felt like your roster was good enough.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, there's truth in that. I mean, you're trying to improve. You're trying to get to a place that you haven't been before.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Jamie Lent and Jeff McGuire. So the draft tonight will be coming to you from Green Bay. I am mixed on this. It's a giant, huge celebration, and I'm sure that the NFL is and these individual cities are making gobs of money on it, which I'm certainly not opposed to. I guess there's just a part of me that misses the 30 some odd teams in a hotel conference room in a nice place, and then some fans in the background, and I don't know. It seems like it's to have 70,000 people there who are you can't pay attention to anything that's going on. So I'd rather it be scaled back a little bit, but it's never gonna get scaled back again.
You're saying Green Bay's not a nice place?
I'm saying whether it was Green Bay or Kansas City or Philadelphia or Chicago or any of these places, I just would prefer it to remain in New York.
You have some of the oddest takes in the history of ever. I mean, they make it a big event at these places.
I know.
Fans show up big time. I mean, they have fun with it.
Yeah.
The hosting teams do it right.
It doesn't look the same every year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and furthermore, like, who cares? Besides Chuck. As long as they make the picks and they tell you who they picked and you know who they picked, I don't understand why you care.
Well,
I mean, you have a right to care.
I mean, I just missed. I liked the balcony, fans there for the New York Jets that, had their opinions on the Jets and things like that. This from the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Chuck, you're a buzzkill.
That's usually reserved for me, Chuck.
I'm the buzzkill this morning.
If you're worse than me, then gosh.
I don't know. Just And that's what I would prefer. I mean, I love watching the NFL draft. I love watching the drama that goes in, and I hate it when the players are falling. I hate it for them, and I hate it for their families. And you almost wish that they just wouldn't show them, but that's part of the drama of the draft when a guy starts sliding, and then the speculation of the sliding is, well, this team doesn't need a quarterback, and so it's going to go din 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 din, and it's just like he's falling down the stairs.
Yeah, no doubt. That's
painful.
If I were ever to be even remotely considered draft worthy, I would want to be there and have to shake the commissioner's hand.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah.
At the same time, there is not a place in this world that I would want to be farther from if I was sliding. The fact that you're sitting there, disappointed. Yes, there's money involved in that disappointment, and you get that, but just the disappointment of, oh, man, I thought I was going to this team, and now you keep hearing these teams that don't want you, right? Yeah. And now they got some camera guy walking up, putting the camera 3 feet from my face. Yeah. Man, how am we not having a throwdown at the hoedown, man? I just would not handle that well.
This is not going well for me on the chat line. Let's see. The salesman in the room. Oh, lost my feed here. Hang on a second.
That buys into any TTU gimmick to make money or create interest does not like the NFL to do the same.
It just.
Also, Chuck hates Green Bay and Newholm.
Yes, I saw that. I don't hate Green Bay, and I don't hate Newholm.
Hosted the NFL draft. Would you go watch?
Sure. Yeah, I would. Yeah. Let's see. Chuck is a complicated man. If the Rose Bowl were to cancel the pomp and circumstance of the parade, he would be up in arms. And now that the NFL has made it this huge deal, he doesn't like it.
It's very interesting, isn't it?
Great.
You would be a great case study for some psychology class in college. Yes.
Great idea, Chuck. Let's scale everything back. Make a smaller deal out of it. Why? It's like getting picked last at recess. Painful. Oh, for the NFL guys.
Yes,
no question.
No doubt.
No question. A complicated man. I think sometimes I'm a simple man. I think sometimes I am a complicated guy. I think sometimes I'm a salmon. I swim the other way. I swim.
The question is why?
Why? I don't know. I like the little telephone helmets there. All the conference tables. With the coaches and
Why can you not have those?
Well, you don't have them anymore because everybody's back at their compound inside their war room and things like that. I do like the fact that
those little helmets were pretty cool though.
I do like the fact that they have
mics in the war room.
So well, no.
You want to be a Dallas Cowboy.
I'm waiting for that tonight. I mean, I will guarantee this. Right about the time when the Cowboys are selecting, I'll be tuning into 100.7 The Score to go. I want to hear Jerry call up somebody and go, "You want to be a cowboy?"
Again, he likes the things that he likes. It doesn't make any sense.
Hello, whatever the guy's name is, Marvin. It's Jerry Jones from Dallas Cowboys. Kind of like, you want to be a cowboy? What is he going to say? No?
No, I'm good. I grew up an Eagles fan. Could you make sure to pass on me, Jerry?
Yeah. Cameron says this is from yesterday. You do drink your coffee black. Yes, I do. Yeah. I mean, I've never said that I'm right 100% of the time. I just give you my opinion as I see it.
Is this like is this Chuck issue like my issue with players wearing different colored shoes than the uniforms? Like it makes no sense.
Maybe. I'm with you on that though.
Okay, well then
I'm with you on that.
Can't be that then. I'm sure I have something else that shouldn't frustrate me.
And what drives me even more crazy is when they wear, and women do this too, the girls do this too, one color on one foot and another color on the other foot.
I have less of an issue with that if those two colors match the uniform.
Well,
I have way less of a color.
Generally speaking, that hasn't been the case either. Yeah.
Well, then you're just doubling down. But I would much rather our players wear a black shoe and a red shoe than I would them wear a bright yellow one.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, I will give you my analysis of the draft tomorrow morning and my analysis of the suits as well.
Of the draft or of the pomp and circumstance?
All of it. I'll give it.
Of the guys that got picked, or of like the stage?
Okay. Let's all be honest. How many of the 32 selections tonight? How many names do you think you'll recognize just off the top? How many names do you think you'll recognize? 10?
Oh, I'll be way better than that.
You will?
I'd say at least 20.
You think?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say somewhere between 12 and 15. It would be where I would go. I wouldn't be surprised if it was higher than that, but not like enormously higher than that. Okay. There's going to be offensive linemen that are picked that I have no idea who they are.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're talking
by now, you're going to recognize.
Well, by now, yeah, because you've been kind of looking at them. But do you have any excitement at all for the Bills tonight?
I hope they get defensive backs.
I think that was who they were selected or projected to get, is a defensive back.
So when I pull it up tomorrow morning, probably.
You'll go to bed tonight not knowing who the Bills pick?
And no, that's probably fine.
I don't know.
Probably when I get into bed, I'll look at my phone.
I was going to say, they have the 30th pick, so the draft starts at 7, so that odds are that it's going to be 10 o'clock or a little bit later before they pick.
Yeah, I probably won't be awake then.
Okay. Maxwell Harrison, have you heard of him?
Nope.
Okay, he's the cornerback from Kentucky. He's who ESPN is projecting, one of their prognosticators, to pick. He is a cornerback. Okay, he is good in sticky coverage, 4.28 speed in the 40, good ball skills. Okay, there we go. Chiefs draft right behind him at 31.
Okay, I just did a quick run through the last year's first round, and I was at 17.
Okay, all right. 7:25. Jamie's question of the day is next.
This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3. Presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Jamie's question of the day on Double T 97.3 is brought to you by Connecticut of West Texas.
Jamie's on the clock, apparently.
Oh, nice.
No, you said that's what happens when something important's about to happen. No. That's something important about to happen.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to steal from Mr. Woodman a little bit in this situation. Okay. I want to know, of all the Red Raiders that have a chance to get drafted tonight.
Aren't there like 13 that are eligible? Is that
okay. I'm going to take your word for it.
I mean, I think that's the number he threw out there.
13. Who do you think has the best chance to have the longest career in the NFL? So you have to take into account their skill level, how good they are, also their position, the position that they play, how they fit to the NFL, all the above.
And then you kind of think also about health and all those things, obviously.
Oh, yeah. So a guy that would stay healthy, that's good too. Yeah.
I heard you guys talking about this, so I'm going to cheat a little bit. Because I do think that he his position, because I don't think Taj is going to be a guy that's going to last more than 2 or 3 years. Tops. I think Caleb Rogers, I don't think he's going to get drafted. I think he'll get signed. He might bounce around a little bit as an offensive lineman. And that's the kind of an outlier, because those guys had the ability to, as they get in there, like, who would have ever thought, I mean, in all honesty, who would have ever thought that Terrence Steele would turn into the pro that he's turned into?
Yeah. Undrafted. Yep, the NFL's full of undrafted offensive linemen.
Changed his body, got, incredible strength, learned how to play the position, and has seemingly thrived, certainly financially.
And also went to a team where it just fell into place for him, where they had a bunch of injuries in his position.
And they needed him to start.
And they needed him, yep.
Yeah. So that's possible. And then you have Josh Kelly. I think is a receiver. I just don't know if
he's definitely a receiver.
I just don't know. Well, my point is, receivers become a dime a dozen, right? And can you stand out? So, with all that having been said, I'm going to agree with what you guys talked about the other day, and I think Jalen Conyers is the guy out of this particular group that has the chance to have the longest career.
I can't believe I'm about to say the name I'm about to say. Like, it doesn't make any sense that it's the one that I'm about to say.
Oh, my God. Who are you going to say?
Gino Garcia.
Oh.
NFL always looking for kickers. Always looking for kickers. He might not be, in fact, I'm willing to bet he won't be with the same team this year in 3 years if he gets picked up. But he could have the longest career out of this group, because if he can keep making it through the uprights, there will be a team that will sign him. And I don't think he's going to get drafted, but he might have the longest career in the NFL.
Maybe so. And kickers can also last longer.
Yeah.
So Choice went with Braylon Lux, which I think is a really good answer, because defensive backs are guys similar to offensive linemen that they just seem to, if they're good, they, even if they're not superstars, they hang around. And so I think that's an interesting answer. My answer is, I'm with you, Chuck. I think it's Jalen Conyers. I think his versatility, and I'm not talking about his ability to throw the football, but his versatility as a tight end, he can be a dominant blocker. He can be a great pass receiver. He's a really good athlete. And I think the combination of those three things make him a guy that, whether you're wanting to use him in the run game or whether you're using him in the passing game, he's a plays both ways kind of guy. Is really good in both areas. And so because of that, excuse me, I think he's got a good chance to have a really nice NFL career.
Yeah, it could be somewhere between 8 and 10 years, let's say.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. Here's what this is from NFL.
If he gets past 5, I think that's, for anybody in the NFL, I think that's great.
Sure. Here's what NFLDraftBuzz.com says about Gino Garcia. Exceptional leg strength enables consistent depth on kickoffs and reliable range beyond 55 yards, displaying the power needed for weather-impacted NFL environments. Shows remarkable poise in clutch situations, evidenced by multiple game-winning kicks and perfect execution in final minute scenarios during Big 12 play. Built like a linebacker, bringing unusual athleticism and durability to the specialist position that translate well to adverse conditions. Demonstrates excellent mechanics and consistent follow-through, particularly on kicks inside the 40, where his accuracy approaches automatic status. Mental toughness stands out in his ability to overcome early season struggles and respond with long stretches of perfect execution. The last thing that they say here, natural competitor who elevated his game when challenged for the starting role, showing the resilience needed for NFL longevity. Longevity, right? Yeah.
Longevity.
Yeah. Technical refinement shows in his plant foot consistent and hip rotation, leading to exceptional accuracy on pressure kicks. Jeff, you may have nailed it.
He's 6'2", 215. I didn't know he was that big.
Yeah, I didn't realize that either.
Help me out here. Was he or Burkhart the kickoff guy last year?
He was the kickoff guy last year.
He was the kickoff guy last year?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Yeah, I think he's got a chance. Mm-hmm. His accuracy definitely is the biggest part to me. And the clutch factor, he definitely had that too.
Mm-hmm. Look at you, Mr. 1%er over there.
No, I just also listened to all the names you rattled off, and it was the one you didn't, so I thought I'd have a different answer.
Just because he picked a different name doesn't mean he's right.
Well, I know, but I thought that was really...
Just a different answer.
That was really good, though.
We'll see. Maybe he's jinxed.
Somebody says, Somebody says Burkhart was the kickoff guy. Okay, how do you not know?
That's what I thought.
Yeah,
and
you're right about. I started doubting myself, but you're right. How do you not know that, Chuck? You're the special teams guy. I'm sorry.
I know. But so that's why I thought it was interesting that for him talking about his big legs and all that, and I'm like, he wasn't the kickoff guy, was he?
Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Jamie Lent and Jeff McGuire. I'm Chuck Heinz. We come to you from the First United Bank studio. Thoughts, comments, Yates Flooring Center chat line. Go to doublet973.com for that of the mobile app. Sports tonight will feature Friendship High School baseball. They play at San Angelo Central. We'll have it for you on Sunny 97.7. That'll be at 6. Rangers and the A's from Sacramento tonight at 8:30. Balls and strikes to follow just after 9. And then the NFL draft is tonight as the Cowboys will be on the board. They're the 12th pick overall right now to begin things in the first round. First round will be tonight, and then the second and all the subsequent rounds will go from there. So our coverage for the NFL draft tonight at 6 on 100.7 The Score. This from Bobby Hot Dogs. I saw Mel Kiper for the first time in a while the other day. Holy hair dye Batman.
What was the first thing you said?
I don't know.
Holy high dare.
Holy high dare, yeah. Holy hair dye Batman. He's got it all kind of confused, didn't I? He puts Coach K, Jimmy Kimmel, and others to shame. Yeah, probably so. I mean, he's a guy. You know,
well, he dyes it so dark,
and then he's still. I mean, 1983. You know, he's still got that hair. I mean, it's big hair and thrown back, and boy, I mean, it's like, hey, Mel, you might want to change it up just a little bit. Cut your hair. It's pretty wavy up there. And he's a guy that has. If he doesn't start his day, I think he starts his day. I think breakfast, he has a piece of pumpkin pie every day.
Okay.
Seriously. I think he has a piece of pumpkin pie every day for breakfast.
All right, well.
It's part of his deal. I really liked his show when he was on ESPN on Saturday morning. He and Dory Noka have stopped doing that show. We carried it on 100.7 The Score. But I mean, if there's one thing that he knows his draft stuff without a doubt.
Sure.
He's pretty emphatic with his opinions too. So I appreciate that. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Somebody posted an article. If you have interest in Cam Ward's journey with regard to going from Incarnate Word to the number 1 pick overall. In this particular article, apparently he talks a lot about Eric Morris and what he did for him. So good for him. That's awesome. And same thing. Apparently he followed Eric Morris from Incarnate Word to Washington State. So that makes some sense.
Yep.
Okay. All that makes some sense. So what a story for him.
But he didn't follow him from Washington State to UNT?
I guess not.
What's up with that?
I don't know. Maybe it went the other one. I don't know. At any rate, so good for Eric Morris in developing that. This Viva 73 Chuck, he eats a hole inside of a pumpkin pie every morning and still does. Thank you very much. He eats a hole inside of a pumpkin pie. I don't know what that means. Sometimes I think
there's a pie and he cuts a hole in the middle. I
don't know. Sometimes I think people use this. Do you do text to talk to text?
No,
I don't either.
No,
I don't either.
I do with my vehicle, I guess.
You do?
Yeah, like I have a button in my vehicle that I can push that, and then text Chuck.
Stop.
Chuck, why do you hate the draft being in Green Bay?
Okay.
Question mark.
Or in any stadium.
And then she'll come back and say, your message to Chuck says, Chuck, why do you hate the draft being in Green Bay? Mm-hmm. Would you like to send it now? And I'm always very polite to her, and I always say, yes, please, or no, thank you.
Do you have your choice of a male voice talking to you or a female voice talking to you?
I probably do. I just don't take the time to change it.
Or a sultry voice versus somebody that would just, kind of talk turkey to you. I was trying to think of
talk turkey to me.
Yeah,
like she speaks in gobble.
No. But just no, that just speak straight to you, like a teacher, or something like that. As opposed to somebody sultry going, "Hey, Jamie, would you like to send that text to Chuck right now? Jamie, would you like to come over tonight?" Something along those lines.
No.
Chuck's theme song is "I Hate Everything" by George Strait. I don't care for George Strait. I respect him, but I don't care for him. I don't know that song.
He eats the pie of the pumpkin pie, a piece of pie, but doesn't eat the crust.
Oh, he doesn't eat the crust.
Doesn't eat the crust.
Well, you could make the pumpkin stuff without the crust, right?
Yeah, but then you get a massive cleanup there. Like, he likes pumpkin pie, doesn't like the crust.
Doesn't like the crust. And you guys think I'm strange.
No,
yes, we know. Yes, we do.
We know you're strange, but you're not the only strange person out there.
Thank you for that. And I set you up, and you over the wall.
Just because you're strange doesn't mean that other people aren't.
I know, right? No, I got that.
Or just because other people are doesn't mean you're not.
That I'm not, right?
Yeah.
That I'm not. Yeah, no, I get all that. I get all that. Okay. This is not sit down with some wings tonight for you, is it, to watch the NFL draft?
It is not.
Okay. Okay.
It is not.
Okay. Jeff?
I hadn't thought about making wings tonight. That's a thought.
Mm-hmm.
There you go, Jeff. Just completely missing the point.
I'm going to watch the draft.
Okay, that's the question.
I'm watching.
It's not about what you're eating.
Think about making wings.
Yes.
That's the new information.
Yeah.
Yes, I will be watching the draft.
Okay. Yeah, me too. I'll stem to stern tonight for me. All right.
That's exciting.
I know. That's the life. I don't have anybody to
you, man.
take out and make them shoot threes in my driveway. My driveway is sloped, so that would never work.
That would be bad.
Because it's not level, so it would not be.
Is it Chris?
Be good. I'll answer this question. I don't know. Somebody else asked a question about Darian Williams. Do we know what Darian Williams decided to do? ? Yes, I did text this. Okay, good. Thank you, Albert.
My wife does it to her phone all the time.
Does she? Does it drive
it makes sense. It makes it quicker than typing it out. Yeah, I just don't choose to do it. Whatever.
I don't know if my phone has the ability to do it.
Again, except when I'm driving.
I don't know if my phone has the ability to do it. Probably does, and I just don't know how to do it.
This has been the Morning Drive Podcast, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Check out our library of Double T 97.3 podcasts at doublet97.3.com.